When my wife, Sarah, mentioned she'd be spending a week away with her best friend, Laura, I barely gave it a second thought. The two had been inseparable since college, and while I'd met Laura's husband, Mark, a few times, we were nothing more than polite acquaintances. Sarah said it was just a girls' retreat, a chance to relax and take a break from the pressures of work. I trusted her without hesitation, so I didn't see a reason to question it. That week felt slow and strangely empty without her. We spoke over video calls every night, and she appeared cheerful, saying Laura was helping her unwind. Still, I noticed she rarely shared details about what they were actually doing, but I decided not to press her. When Sarah returned, she seemed withdrawn and avoided looking me in the eye. I chalked it up to the exhaustion that often follows a vacation. A month later, she asked me to sit down. Her voice trembled as she told me she was pregnant. We had been trying for a baby for some time, so at first I felt overjoyed, until I realized she wasn't smiling. Her hands shook, tears welled up, and I knew something was deeply wrong. I asked if she was all right, and she whispered, "It's not yours." It felt like the ground fell away beneath me. My chest tightened, my ears roared, and for several moments, I couldn't form a single word. When I finally managed to speak, I asked whose child it was. Her reply broke me further, Mark's. Laura's husband. I sat there frozen, unable to fully process the betrayal. She went on to explain that during their trip, Laura had to leave for 2 days due to a family emergency. Mark came to keep her company, and one night, after too much alcohol, they crossed a line. She claimed it was a one-time mistake and that she despised herself for it, but that didn't erase the fact that she had slept with her best friend's husband and was now carrying his child. The thought of Laura finding out made me sick. When I asked Sarah if she had told her, she said no, she was too afraid it would ruin their friendship and destroy Mark's marriage. In my mind, I thought, good. They should know the truth. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined Sarah and Mark together. I thought about all the times I had trusted her, all the moments I believed she was loyal, the future we had planned, and the child we'd both wanted, now replaced by a reality she had shattered in one night. The next day, I called Laura. She was confused at first, but I told her she needed to hear something important. When I explained, there was silence. Then, in a shaky voice, she asked, "Are you certain?" I told her Sarah had confessed it to me directly. Laura began sobbing, and in the background, I heard her yelling at Mark before the call abruptly ended. When Sarah learned that I had told Laura, she stared at me, her face a mixture of shock, fear, and anger. "How could you do that?" she demanded. I laughed bitterly and replied, "How could you do what you did to me?" She had no answer. The fallout was immediate. Laura threw Mark out of their home. She sent me messages, thanking me for telling her but also saying she was heartbroken. Mark tried calling me, likely to offer excuses or apologies, but I blocked his number. Sarah cried daily, begging me to forgive her and help raise the baby. I couldn't. Every time I looked at her, I saw the betrayal. That child would be a permanent reminder of the night she destroyed our marriage. I told her I wanted a divorce. She accused me of abandoning her in her darkest hour, but I reminded her that she had abandoned us first. A month later, I moved out. I left her the house. I didn't want anything that carried her presence. Laura and I stayed in contact for a while, but eventually, the conversations dwindled. We were both just trying to recover from wounds we never asked for. Even now, I sometimes think about how fragile trust really is. One trip, one night, one decision, and the life I believed I had was gone forever. Sarah made her choice with Mark, and now she has to live with the consequences alone. I lost a marriage, but I kept my self-respect, and that's something she can never take away.